What's up there, guys? This is Cob, and screw being optimistic all the time. Having a balance is important. It's fun to QQ from time to time. We've already talked about things that we're excited about in WoW Legion in the previous video, so let's use this one to destroy some people's hopes and dreams, to incite some people into taking radical action, such as cancelling their WoW sub or writing a disgruntled forum post for the devs to ignore. I'm going to talk about 3 things that I think could absolutely suck in WoW Legion. And what better place to start than class halls, also known more cynically as garrisons with slightly fewer followers. Now, the very fact that class halls even resemble garrisons is a mind-blowing thing in and of itself, given the stupendous amount of disdain that the WoW community at large had for WoD garrisons. It begs the question, what are Blizzard thinking? Is the disconnect between the community and the developers really that massive now? That one of the most despised features the game has ever paid host to is actually being copied from a failed expansion and pasted into the next. It is worth mentioning that class halls don't seem to include profession hubs of any kind, thank thralls, balls, but I can't help but worry that the class hall garrison missions are going to be somehow mandatory for your character's progression in some way. I'll be honest here, I don't know that much about class order halls. Why? Because as soon as I heard that there were follower missions there, I made a conscious effort to avoid the content of these halls for fear of just being overcome, with sheer disappointment. So I won't rant and rage about the class halls too much more than that. Mr. Heels vs Babyface has already done a bloody sterling job of that, so we'll leave that as it is. But I will say that I'm also surprised that we're sharing our class halls with other players, some of which are from the opposite faction. I mean, you just get done powering up your artifact weapon and listening to some grand speech about how you, the one true hero, will lead your fellow priests or your fellow paladins into battle. And you turn around and see some other paladin standing next to you called, I don't know, fucking Bubble Boy Kappa XD or some shit. And then you realise that this new instance of your class hall, once you finish the question, is actually filled with other paladins beside yourself. And you're all rocking your legendary Ashbringers. I mean, there's just something wrong with that. I don't like class halls, I don't like follower missions, and I just hope that they are not in any way mandatory at all, to your character's progression. Because if they are, I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did with garrisons. I'll just ignore them and let my character fall behind while I play other games that are just flat out more fun than WoW at that point in time. Next up, ability pruning. Has it gone too far? It's at the point now in the Legion Alpha where, whenever there's a terrain bug like a door not loading in properly on an arena map, people are just saying like, yeah, Blizzard pruned the doors. Those arena doors weren't adding to the fantasy of this arena map, so they just cut that shit. But speaking as a long-time Warlock player, I can only speak on behalf, of Warlocks. I don't really know enough about other classes and how they used to play in WoD compared to Legion. But as a Warlock, it does feel like things have gotten a bit streamlined, a bit simplistic, maybe even a little bit intellectually insulting. Right now in the alpha, the destruction spec is decent in PvP because of all our instant cast spells. But what is our best rotation right now as Destro? It goes something along the lines of Dimensional Rift, Shadowban, 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 Conflagrate, Conflagrate, Shadowban, 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 Shadowban. You get the bloody picture. It's 3 buttons. And that's only when Dimensional Rift isn't on cooldown. Of course we can try and emulate in PvP as well, but I wouldn't consider that part of a best rotation. Now, I know Affliction has undergone a lob-on, of simplification changes as well. Seedu did a video talking about this topic in detail, and it's definitely worth a watch. Affliction appears to be a 3-dot spec now, with Drain Life as a filler, and no Haunt. I mean, is it like this for other classes too? I'm not interested in other classes enough to research each of them individually, but I hear bad things, and for the first time since I started playing WoW, I'm finding that I'm actually worried that the combat within the game itself might just not be good, or rather, might not be fun to play once the novelties have worn off. Of course, just to put this out there, Warlords of Draenor Destro is absolutely awful as well. Like, holy shit, I'm so glad that we're leaving that crap behind. But I've got a sense that mashing Shadowban over and over and over and over might get old pretty fast. And the last thing that has me worried about Legion is the same thing that has had me worried about the game for the past 4 or 5 years, and that is the general sense of over-accessibility, the lack of depth beyond raiding and arena ratings. It's kind of hard to pin down exactly what I mean by this, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. In Legion, epic items are still more common than grey items. In fact, we can now honestly say that legendary items, are even they're just as common as muck. Everybody's got bloody legendary items now. Will there be a sense of challenge and accomplishment when it comes to obtaining new gear? Will making gold become part of the game again, or will everyone just be rich from class hall missions? What about professions? Will they be challenging and carry a sense of real importance once mastered? Or, you know, for another expansion, will they be a useless minigame? These might all seem like really minor things, but for me, they all add up and make the game feel full and alive, and a lot more addicting, which, I mean, it's what most of us want back in our game, right? Will the world be bold enough to force us to get up off our asses and actually work hard on our characters to achieve cool things, like becoming WoW millionaires, or, you know, mastering a truly useful profession, or just acquiring that best in slot item? Or will this be another expansion of World of Freebie Craft, where everything is handed to us on a plate? Within a few weeks it feels like there's just nothing left to do. This is 100% my biggest concern with World of Warcraft in general, and it's sad to think that Legion just isn't going to deviate from this ultra easy path that we've been heading down for far too long, where the only Blizzard given things to do include rated PvP, for as long as you can put up with it anyway, the fucking circus that it's become, and raiding. And it's not nice to think that no matter how good Legion tries to be, the direction of the game as a whole could just kill it before it even get a chance, you know, to draw breath. There was an S missing in that last sentence, but fuck it. I'm not going to go back and re-record that line, damn it. And that's about going to wrap it up. Those are the 3 things that I'm most worried about for WoW Legion, and why I'm not getting, you know, super hyped about the upcoming expansion. At this point you might think I'm just a big miserable plebeian. I might be a bit of a plebeian, you know, in some people's eyes, but not miserable all the time. You probably missed the last video where we went over the 3 things that I'm actually excited for WoW Legion. And if I remember, I'll plop a link to that down below in the video description, so you can go back and watch that. So what do you guys think? Do you think Legion's going to suck? Do you think it's going to be good? Are there good points? Are there bad points? Let me know down below in the comments. It'd be awesome to hear what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like the video. Helps me out a lot, but for now, have an awesome day now, everybody. I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later. And I just hope that they are not in any way mandatory at all to any kind of character progression, because if they are, I just beat the shit out of my microphone right there, god damn it. Who the hell else did I just see? I just saw somebody else here, right? Ooh! Who the fuck? Where are you? Show yourself.